All right, man. Peace. So now this is the end of Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That ass whooping, the pimp slap that the Cleveland Cavaliers got. So we're going to go through some footage here, and I'm going to chime in as usual. Let's see what they have to say.
As the Golden State Warriors remain perfect in the 2017 postseason.
Let me tell you something, man. Cleveland's going to have no answers for these guys. They have no answers for Golden State. The defense is too good. They have too many weapons on offense. When you talk about Curry and Durant, they got two of the top 3 offensive players in the NBA on one team. And that's not even going into Klay Thompson, who's pretty much just chilling right now. They pretty much just told Klay, look, just harass Kyrie. And it takes Kyrie too much energy to get his points. Like, the man he's probably the best under the rim finisher I've ever seen in the NBA history. All right, his finishing is unbelievable with both hands. Obviously, as they talk about ad infinitum on the broadcast. All right, I've never seen anybody who could finish like him. But it takes him too much energy to get his buckets. And LeBron, you see, they held both of them under 50% shooting. That's what you want. All right, it doesn't matter if they both get high 20s or 30s. You want to keep them around or under 50%. And you can't have LeBron shooting 60 and 65% like he was against them whack-ass Eastern Conference teams. All right? So we're going to see. Because I thought that Cleveland's best chance to steal one was going to be tonight. And they got their asses whooped tonight. And you could see it. It was like, it's like, if you're an old school boxing fan, you watch a Joe Frazier fight. It starts off, Joe start off a little slow, and he starts to heat up. And that's what Golden State did to him. It's like they started off slow. You could tell they were a little nervous. It's almost like, you've been training to beat up the bully who jumped you last year, and you finally got his ass. And they was nervous at the start, but you could tell it was just too much. They just come at you in waves. Too much.
Golden State 13-0, including 7-0 here at Oracle Arena.
Expect Cleveland to try to come out really physical next game. All right? And if they lose next game, expect them to try to play dirty in Game 3.
As LeBron James Cavs lose on the road for the first time in this postseason, and only their second loss of the playoffs. Kevin Durant was brilliant. He's with Doris.
Now, LeBron is slapping fire with all his teammates. I want to see what he's going to be doing with them after Game 3 if they're down 3-0. Because LeBron is known for jumping ship and bailing on his teammates and on all that fake camaraderie that he does. So let's see what happens after Game 3 if they're down 0-3. Because he will throw them dudes under the bus with the quickness.
Kevin, the last time you stepped off the floor of an NBA Finals, you were in tears. So can you describe what you're feeling?
Look at Kevin. Kevin's like, come on now. That shit was 5 years ago. I just scored damn near 40 points in the 2017 Finals. Let me live, please. God damn.
Feeling with the start that you just had in this Game 1. Forgive me for that reminder.
And Doris should know better. Doris used to play. Ain't nobody trying to hear about some shit from 5 years ago. Yeah, he was crying 5 years ago. Move on.
I think to start the game, we were a little too anxious. We missed some layups. We gave up some open shots. I think we just locked in the second quarter on, and we're playing a great team. We're playing the champs right now, so we know they're not going to give up at all. And Game 2 is going to be different, but we'll start good.
Kevin, knowing what you bring in terms of your offensive arsenal, what is it like to play in the space that both the personnel and the system gives you and the kind of looks you get?
It's unbelievable. I mean, look at how many open shots this guy gets. Like, people talking about he might go back to OKC. If he goes back to OKC, he's dumb as hell. Like, playing with Golden State, if they keep that team together, it's going to add 4 years on each one of those guys' careers. I mean, these guys, they're running 4-man fast breaks with Kevin Durant pushing the ball up at 6'11" and Steph Curry running the wing. And the defense is scared. They're going to cover Steph Curry in the corner. They're leaving him open to drive for a wide open dunk. It's too much, man. It's too much.
Look
Look at LeBron. LeBron just let the man drive straight to the basket and had a look on his face like somebody else was supposed to pick him up. No, LeBron, that was you, bruh.
I just try to help, and contribute any way I can. And I might not be able to get those shots next game, but if I do, I got to continue to knock them down. But
no, you're going to get them shots next game. You're going to get them next game. All right? Because it's just too much. It's like, you only got 10 fingers and there's 11 holes in the dam. There's only so many holes that you can plug up. Look at Tristan Thompson's face. Tristan Thompson's like, what the hell is going on? I need to get with Chloe because we ain't going to win this shit anyway. I might as well have her come to the game. This is not looking good. The way they got blown out, it wasn't like Golden State was hot. They didn't even shoot well. Like, what happens when they start shooting well? And Steph had that friskiness back to his game, man. He was busting dudes.
Just trying to play hard as I can every minute I'm out there and leave it out there. Whatever happens outside.
You are looking opposite and quite often matched up against LeBron James, the guy who will go down as one of the all-time greats.
Oh, now Doris said you matched up with LeBron James, a guy who's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. Well, shit, just yesterday y'all had him better than Jordan. Now off one game, he's just one of the all-time greats. Now what happens if they get swept? What happens if Cleveland gets swept? They're going to say, LeBron James, borderline Hall of Famer.
What is it about embracing that challenge that gives you motivation here?
That's basketball. I have no other choice.
That's what let me tell you something. If this is the normal stat line for the series, Cleveland's going to get swept. They're going to get swept if this is the normal stat line. All right? So many things had to happen last year for Cleveland to beat Golden State with Harrison Barnes as starting small forward. Like 5, 6, 7 things had to happen for them to even win that series. Like they had to have Steph come in at 60% health. They had to have Bogut go down with a season-ending knee injury. They had to have Draymond get suspended. They had to have Andre Iguodala's whole body lock up in a muscle spasm. Like, so much shit had to happen in a row for them to just win that series last year. Like, you have a fully healthy Kevin Durant who's like, obviously he's not as good as LeBron overall, but he's close enough to where he's going to be able to at least nullify LeBron. And the way that Golden State runs their offense, it's going to be so easy for Kevin Durant to score. Like, he's 14 of 26. He easily could have been 14 of 20, right? Or 18 of 26. Like, the way that they move the ball and the way that they play offense, man, it's going to be too much.
Just for all the marbles. So, both teams are kind of extremely hard. And I don't want to be one of those guys from the outside looking in, wishing I to play harder. So, I'm just trying to, buckle up my boots and go to war.
We talk often about you and Steph, but can you describe the influence of both Clay and Draymond on the overall success of this team?
Well, defensively, those two guys, all defensive players, I think, in this league. And Draymond is Defensive Player of the Year.
And Kevin Durant plays some great defense, too, man. His length and his activity on the defense, phenomenal.
And, he covers up so much, but I think Clay does a good job of just making it tough on guys. And we got to help him out even better next game if we want to win.
Thank you, Kevin. Mike.
All right, Doris, 38, 8 assists as well. And a big hug from Mom as Golden State takes a 1-0 lead in these NBA Finals.
My mom would love me too if I got a shot like that.
And defensively, another masterpiece for the Warriors. So game one goes to the home team, Golden State.
Look at this nigga high kicking. Let me tell you something. If expect Cleveland to try to start something with Draymond in the next couple of games. Expect them to try to be really physical with Curry, and expect them to try to provoke Green in some type of way to destabilize their team. And if it gets worse, expect them to try to get dirty. It wouldn't shock me if they try to undercut Durant or Curry, get one of them out of the series. Believe me, they're going to get desperate as this series goes along. You watch.
We'll be back with more at Oracle Arena after this timeout.
All right, so now we're going to pick up with Draymond Green getting interviewed by the round table of Isaiah Thomas, Kenny Smith, and Grant Hill.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, as we have one of the players from Golden State, I think his name is Draymond Green, sits down.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it is. But I think the one thing, Draymond, that we saw was, and I was talking about efficiency. I think at times we've seen you guys over the years, these 3 years run, be really great, and sometimes you're loose with the basketball. We didn't see the looseness with the basketball that we have seen. And when those leagues got to 15 and 16 or 12, they stayed there.
That was huge for us. One thing that we talked about coming into this series is one of the keys. One of the top two keys is to take care of the basketball.
That means, Steph, either shoot it, dribble, or pass, but don't try to act like you damn Curly Neal out there or Meadowlark Lemon with all them damn Harlem Globetrotter fake-ass behind-the-back passes into the third row. With your dumb ass. You cost the team last year in Game 7 with that.
And like you said, when we got those leads, we didn't get loose with the basketball. If I want to nitpick, we had one segment where I think we had 2 turnovers in 2 possessions. And other than that, we continue to keep our foot on the gas. And if we continue to do that, defend the way we did, and obviously you can't expect to have 4 or 5 turnovers wherever we had every game. But if you can keep that down 9, 10, 11, we'll always give ourselves a chance to have a great game.
Yeah, just 4 tonight. You're now a veteran of 14 of these games, NBA Finals games. What's your takeaway from this? What feel did you take from it?
Obviously, I think, we were a little rusty to start off. Guys missing layups, probably the nerves of the finals as well. But
yeah, y'all were nervous, man. Y'all wanted it so bad.
But we continued to stay at it. Everybody did their job. And, when you come out and everybody...
Like a dude that been chasing a girl for months and finally about to hit it.
And everybody do their job. You have a chance to have a great game.
Jermaine, talk about yourself and Klay in terms of your defensive effort, your defensive intensity. Particularly with Klay, a couple of times guarding Kyrie Irving out front, shutting him down, staying with him off the dribble. How inspiring is that to you and to the rest of your teammates when you two defend like that?
It's very important, for us to defend that way. Obviously, Klay's got, one of their best players. With Kyrie, and that's a tough task. But, he took it personal on the defensive end. He played great on-ball defense. And, I just try to do what I can on the defensive end. But one thing about it, we both got to play great defense shooting the way the 2 of us did. So.
Kyrie, what Klay does very well with Kyrie is that, he keeps Kyrie under 50% from the field. That's what you need with Kyrie. Plus, Kyrie gets caught up in that one-on-one shit. So you want him caught up in that one-on-one shit. That's why it's important to be able to single cover Kyrie. You want to have a great one-on-one defender. Kyrie's still going to get his. But you want to have a one-on-one guy because that's going to entice Kyrie to always, try to go one-on-one. It's going to take his team out of the team concept. And meanwhile, he's going behind the back, through the legs 5,000 times to score 2. And then they come down on the other end and either get an easy layup, an easy dunk, free throws, or a wide open 3. That's how leads progressively build.
So, we got to bring something to the table.
And Draymond, talking about defense, after that first quarter, you held them to 60 points in 3 quarters defensively as a team. Was there something with this team, a game plan where we're not going to let the others get off, or we're going to make life miserable for LeBron and Kyrie? What was the mindset and the thought process going into Game 1 defensively?
Why the hell you think he going to give you the game plan?
Defensively.
Well, we know when their others are getting off, they're going to be pretty impossible to beat because LeBron's going to get his. Kyrie's going to get his. And Kevin Love had a good game as well. So if you can shut down the JRs and the Kyle Korvers, and those guys, Look
at that great defense from Klay. That's why I say I don't give a shit what Klay shoot from the field. When he's playing defense like that, he's worth his weight in gold, man. That guy does a hell of a job on defense.
It makes a big difference. You got KD right there guarding LeBron. That was huge. He took that matchup personal tonight, and, we need that for the rest of the series.
You guys were plus 26 in the paint. As you were walking up, we were just talking about what appeared to be the Cavaliers' decision to give up layups, or in Kevin Durant's case, dunk after dunk after dunk. I think he dunked the ball 27 times tonight. It felt that way. Well, what did you see out there in terms of what they were trying to do, what their focus was?
Their focus was to definitely take away the three-point line. And, obviously, if you're going to give us a dunk in transition, we'll take the dunk. We're not going to force the 3. And, when you take away the three-point line like that, you open the rim up. And, I think guys did an incredible job of driving. And when the 3s were there, we took the 3s. But, we're not just going to force 3s and they're trying to take it away. You got to take what the defense gives you.
I have a basketball energy question because you're the energy guy. So certain energy guys they're fire starters, meaning they're going to come from door talking. Some guys are going to be reactionary. They're going to get it when someone else says something and they're going to join in. And then other guys are a little bit in between. What are you? Are you the fire starter? Are you the counter puncher? What are you in terms of trash talk and getting your team fired up?
I think in order to be a great trash talker, you have to be a fire starter, and you have to be able to counter punch. You know, you start talking to somebody and you ain't got no counter.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Draymond lucky that he plays today, man, because if he played back in the 90s, them guys back then would have just elbowed his teeth out for real. Like, you know. And Draymond is a tough guy, but back in the 90s, talking all that shit, Charles Oakley would have tried to knock his ass out. You know, them guys back then, the 4 position back in the 90s, those guys, they basically just lifted weights and grabbed rebounds and kicked the ball out. Now, that's all they did. Like, they wasn't even trying to shoot. Every once in a while, you know, a couple of them power forwards, they would have like a little 15-foot jump shot, but Draymond can get away with a lot of that talk today.
Exactly. And that's what's interesting because that your job, would you say that? But sometimes when you're the scorer or something else on the team, you don't have time to do that. But you need somebody to get you, and you want to say it in the back of your mind. I was one of those guys who wanted to say it but couldn't say it.
Right.
Yeah, because you was a borderline scrub. Yo, Kenny Smith be sitting on these panels trying to act like he was a I mean, he keeps saying, "Oh man, there was one year where I almost made the All-Star team." Nigga, there was never a year where you almost made the All-Star team, other than All-Star scrub. All right, like get the hell out of here. They gave you an award. The award was a gigantic splinter. All right, for all them splinters you had up in your ass sitting on the goddamn bench. Just knock it off. They almost had to bench you in the first finals because Derek Harper was controlling you so bad. All right, Sam Cassell saved y'all. Stop talking so much shit, man. And I like Kenny, but he talks too damn much shit.
Right. I needed a Vernon Maxwell. I needed a Draymond Green to say it for me, and I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They gave me that courage juice. Give me the courage juice.
I've said this before. I spoke to Ronnie Lott, particularly about yourself, and he made the reference of Charles Haley, how Charles Haley, when he was with the 49ers, he gave everybody the courage to go to the edge because sometimes he would go over the edge. And, you know, in these moments like this, you need to play with that type of intensity and be on the edge but not go over the edge. Now, the question I got for you now is with your coach, with Mike Brown, because this is his first time in this series. You guys have gone back and forth with Cleveland for the last 2 years. This is his first time up to the plate. How did y'all get him ready to coach this game?
One thing about Mike B is he's a professional. You know, he's one of those guys, he's at work early, he's at work late, he's always preparing, you know, for the moment. And, you know, the great thing about it is this isn't his first finals. You know, he's been there before, ironically, with the Cavs, you know,
Yeah.
but it's not his first go-around. And, you know, I think the main thing is he just stayed the course. You know, he didn't come out and try to do anything spectacular from what he's been doing, you know, since he's taken over the helm. And I think that's great. You know, it's on us to go out and play the game, you know, and, you know, execute the game plan that he gives us. And it's on him to just continue to stay poised. And I think he's done a great job of that, you know, and as long as he continues to do that, we'll continue to follow his lead and try.
And what that translates to is Mike Brown knows how to stay out the goddamn way. All right? Right now he's driving a Ferrari. His job is to get it back to the garage without a scratch. That's his job.
Try to be great.
So speaking of lead and leadership, right? You are the leader of this team in terms of emotionally, spiritually, and also, you know, verbal-wise. Your communication with Durant early in the season, now late in the season, how did you communicate with him in terms of getting him ready to play and compete and become a warrior and not, you know, the OKC player?
And that's a great question from Isaiah because, you know, and Draymond did a good job with this over the course of the season to show you that Draymond, you know, even though he's kind of a live wire, he's overly emotional, but he still has the mind of a chess player. He went into KD's psyche early on in the season because he studied KD and he knows KD's weaknesses. You know, these different players, when they're operating at a high level, they know the weaknesses that other players have, both physically and mentally. So he saw that KD is somebody who could be broken mentally. So he went about the season harassing him, trying to toughen him up. He did a good job.
Well, I think, you know, the most important thing is just having trust in each other. You know, there have been many times where you know, it breaks the internet. Or Draymond's yelling at Kevin, but he trusts me. He knows that I'm going to come. If I'm going to say something, that I'm going to say something that's going to try to better the team. And, you know, he'll come up to me and yell at me, but of course that'll never make the internet. They're just going to put me on there, which is fine. But, you know, to have a guy like Kevin Durant, who I think is one of the best players in the world, can take that. You know, some guys can't take that, and some guys aren't willing to take that.
Yeah.
But he's going to, you know, if you're going to yell at him, he's going to listen. He may say something back. But at the end of the day, we know we both want to win, and that's the most important thing.
He's also figured out by now you yell at everybody at some point,
Yeah,
right?
no question.
That's true.
The last thing I want to ask is, you know, we're here, you want to, well, why are y'all different? Why are we going to see something different than last year when you guys really handled them for 4 games? Then after the suspension, it was kind of a dismantlement. Why are y'all different?
I think it's just a more focused group. You know, last year you're coming off a finals win, you're up 3-1, you think, oh man, we got this. They can't touch us. And you know, they came back and did what they did. This year, obviously adding KD, you know, makes a big difference. But also, you know, add some of the veteran pieces like a Matt Barnes, you know, like Zaza, you know, like David West, who's been huge for us. You know, just add those things to the fold. You know, I think we're a team of better points. You know, and I think that's the most important thing.
You know, when they got rid of that bench last year, they kept from last year. Everybody early this season kept saying, "Oh, well, their bench was terrible in the playoffs last year. Their bench got their asses kicked against OKC. The bench got their asses kicked against the Cleveland Cavaliers when it counted. All them guys can have a nice day."
I lost my poise last year, and it cost us a championship. You know, so keeping our poise, you know, maintaining.
And you believe that? If that didn't happen, you think the championship would be back to back?
I think it would. You know, but you know,
I agree with you. I'm just saying.
We can all say, you know, if I had to play that game, you know, we would have won. But it's not. You know, we're not sure.
I agree with you.
You know,
Had I not sprained my ankle, we'd have won.
Exactly. So, you know, we can all say if.
I agree with you.
I'll say if, but at the end of the day, they won a championship. You got to give them that credit. But we're back to try to take it back this year.
You surprised at all? There wasn't a lot of chippiness, a lot of chirping tonight, or was that later on in the series?
Yes, you already know, Matt. That's later on in the series. Like I already stated, Cleveland, especially if they continue to get their ass whooped, they're going to try to get dirty.
Series.
I think, you know, there's never really a lot of chirping. You know,
except for
at times it happens. You know, and at times it happened tonight. But you know, as the series goes on, it usually gets more physical, and you know, we'll be prepared for that.
Will Richard Jefferson get a farewell tour like Kobe?
Is this his last year? I don't know.
Last year was supposed to be
I don't know if it's his last year. I'm not sure.
I don't think he goes. Your podcast. Invite me to the show. I got something to say.
Respect.
Before we let you go, did you get Zeke's Charles Haley reference? Because we're all old guys. We know Charles Haley. Do you know Charles Haley?
I definitely, you know, I keep up with my Bay Area history.
Okay, all right, good.
So I try to stay up on those things. I definitely, you know, have heard a lot about him. You know, so it's not that I've seen him play, but I've heard a lot about him because someone else has said to me before, like, you're like Charles Haley. And I'm like, who is that? So I had to go Google him. And then once I Googled him, I'm like, all right, I got it.
Is it 4 or 5 Super Bowl rings?
It's 5.
Yeah. The internet's a handy.
Yeah,
You're all over.
Yeah, he kind of like you. You working on 5?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
That's not really a compliment, though. Charles Haley has psychological issues. He's on medication. He's on strong medication right now. Like, he's borderline schizophrenic. All right. So Charles Haley was way out there. Supposedly, he went into the 49er ownership office and took a dump in the office. Like, he used to walk up in the offices butt naked and all that. Like, he had psychological issues. Draymond shouldn't have taken that as a compliment.
Trying to.
Allegedly, Charles Haley did all that. No, if any of my particulars are off, you brothers can correct me.
Thanks for stopping by. Continued good luck. Game 1 of the books for Draymond Green and the Warriors. They've taken 113-90 tonight. 38 from Kevin Durant in his finals debut as a Dub.
All right, now we're gonna pick up with Kyrie Irving's press conference. Let's see what he has to say.
Let's listen in as Kyrie Irving addresses the media. He had 24 in a Game 1 loss.
Kyrie, Davide Chinellato, Gazzetta Italy.
What? I heard that man say he's from Italy. The rest of that shit sound like some type of gibberish.
Here. Down here. What is the thing you're most disappointed about?
He's disappointed about that ass whooping they took. That's what he's disappointed about.
Of this game one?
It's no time to be disappointed. I think that just thinking about the next game, things that we can correct going forward. They capitalized a lot on our mistakes, a lot of transition.
They didn't capitalize a lot on your mistakes, Kyrie. They capitalized on how you guys play. All right, that's how you guys play. You guys want to go one-on-one, you and LeBron, dribble, go hard to the basket, and kick out those long cross-court passes to hopefully wide-open shooters. All right? When I watched that defensive scheme, it reminded me a lot of the defensive schemes that the Bulls used to play back in the 90s. They would use their length, right? They play you one-on-one. If you beat them to the basket, they would have somebody cut you off. You try to kick out to an open shooter, and either Jordan, Harper, or Pippen would pick off your pass and steal it because they had long arms. All right? That's what they're doing to you, Kyrie. So you guys are going to have to utilize more man movement. You guys don't move without the ball.
Transition, easy baskets that we can't allow going into game two. So definitely a lot of things we can correct and get better at. Watch film tomorrow and go from there.
Back left here. Kyrie, Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. When it comes to your defense, what do you feel like is most correctable from this game to the next one?
The same shit that's been correctable all year that they haven't corrected. They're not a good defensive team. You're not going to just come to the finals and face, probably the best offensive team since the 87 Lakers, and all of a sudden now you're going to become the 89 Pistons and try to shut people down. It doesn't work like that. Everybody knew that this series was going to be a shootout. They came in game one thinking that they could shoot it out with Golden State. All right, Golden State is like a great fighter that has great offense and defense. Cleveland is like a great fighter that has just great offense. All right, simple as that. So the only option the Cavs have is to be extremely physical and hope that it makes the games more competitive, and hope that the NBA gives the memo to the refs to allow them to be borderline dirty. All right. If they lose game two, game three, they're gonna try to start getting dirty.
Well, it's a combination. A lot of our communication on our switches were pretty good tonight. I just think that we got to limit a lot of their transition baskets as well.
Communication on your switches. Meaning what? Switch, you get Jade up. I don't want to get Jade up. Let's switch. You get taken to the basket. I don't want to get taken to the basket. Come on, man. In transition, all they were doing was you guys were scared to death. They coming down on a 4-man fast break with Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, Steph, and Clay. And you guys don't know who to guard, so you're giving up dunks.
Baskets, as well as their easy transition threes, as well as their offensive rebounding. We do that, and we put ourselves in a better position.
Basically, he said that we could stop them from taking the court. He said the transition points, the easy threes, they're going to the basket. I mean, nigga, you basically just said the whole game you have to work on.
Then offensively, we just got to take care of the basketball. Had a few too many turnovers tonight. 20 in the finals. Definitely not going to get it done.
Of course, because you and LeBron are trying to play Batman and Robin, and that's not going to work against Golden State. Your other guys are going to have to move without the basketball. Simple as that. Y'all going to have to slow the game down and turn it into a half-court game. If you try to run with these guys, you're going to get ran off the court.
Get it done. So as a team and collectively, we just have to take a harness and make a conscious effort to take care of the basketball and, don't overthink out there. So.
Eric in the back. Kyrie right here. Eric Pincus, Basketball Insider's Bleacher Report. You just mentioned that you want to limit their transition. Obviously, not turning it over will help, but how do you deal with their speed in transition? How do you stop them in transition?
Pray and flagrant foul. That's about it. How you going to stop a 4-man fast break with Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Steph, and Clay? Come on, man. That's like you going against the West All-Stars, basically. Ain't shit they can do.
Just taking quality shots and, understanding that we will be cross-matched in transition. Clay's guarding me, Steph is on switch, so, a lot of our actions on the defensive end, a lot of our communication, we're just going to have to dig our feet in and be able to guard the basketball.
Something that you haven't done all year. something that you've never done. It's always amazing to me. Everybody talks about Steph Curry's poor defense. None of these top point guards play great defense other than maybe John Wall, who plays pretty good defense, right? In the NBA right now, with the skill set that most of these guys have, nobody can really guard anybody one-on-one, all right? And right now, Curry is clearly healthy in these playoffs and in these finals. The things that he was doing to Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson on the switch, he physically couldn't do last year. Everybody was acting like it was an excuse when people said that he was hurt. He was clearly hurt last year, and this year he's clearly not. Right, and Kyrie damn sure cannot guard him one-on-one any more than anybody can guard Kyrie one-on-one. This series is going to be all about game planning and trying to take away something. And the only way that Cleveland can take anything away from Golden State is to be physical. They're going to have to get physical with them and hope that the refs allow them to get away with it. Right, but it's a matter of, is LeBron going to be able to last these games, being able to play at the level that he's going to have to play at in order for them to be competitive. Not win, just be competitive. I mean, look, they shot 35% from the field in this game.
Basketball. So it's more or less a hard thing, a prideful thing that going to game 2 will be a lot more settled in.
Yeah, and so will they. They shot 43% from the field. What's going to happen when they shoot 51%? You guys are going to lose by 30.
And, a lot better on the defensive end. And offensively, I mean, we still have to take good shots against this great team. So,
yeah, see, he's right now. It's starting to, the burden and the task at hand is starting to settle into him right now. It was all cool to talk shit when you was going up against Boston without Isaiah Thomas and all these weak ass teams out in the East. You better call Kobe. All right, Kobe might have something to advise you about, but nah, I don't see it, bro.
So. We'll get better.
Yes, Kyrie. Dave Lewis, NBC News Radio. So much was made about the layoff for both teams. Would you attribute to any of the thoughts of rust being a factor in your play tonight as a team?
Why the fuck would rust be an issue when Golden State was resting longer than them? What type of dumbass question is that, man?
Well, there's no way you can simulate the Warriors' offense. So when you come out here and no matter how greatly prepared you are, going against them and being in the game is totally different. So, glad that we got game 1 out of the way, and to have this type of game and have an effort that we put forth, there's definitely some things that are correctable. So, just go forward.
Some things that are correctable, bruh. The only thing that's correctable is that you guys are going to have to play dirty. You guys, every game is going to have to be like Game 7 for you guys, right? And to be quite frank with you, you guys are going to have to hope that either Steph or KD gets hurt. That's your only prayer. And that might not even help you because to be quite frank with you, last year in the finals, Steph was at 60%. They lost their rim protector and Bogut. Draymond got suspended. Iguodala got a full body spasm the last 2 games of the series. And you guys still needed a 3-pointer by you to win the game, to win the series. Like, you guys had no business winning last year. All right? That's what all them baking cookies and 3-1, down 3-1, and baking Halloween cookies, all that bullshit was about. Deep down, you guys knew that you didn't deserve to win that series. So right now, the dream is over. You guys, I'm not going to say that they don't have a chance. Everybody has a chance. Somebody could get hurt. Somebody could get hobbled. Who knows that Silver could give out the memo that we're going to allow extreme physicality. Who knows what could happen. But right now, I don't see it.
Just go forward, continue to have a mindset that, the goal at hand, which we want to accomplish, is going to be definitely a tough one. So game 1 of the series is done, and now we move on to game 2.
LeBron already knows that unless KD or Steph get hurt, he's not winning this series.
I mean, you take one of the best teams that we had ever assembled last year, that we saw in the regular season and in the postseason, and then, in the offseason you add a high-powered offensive talent like that and a great basketball IQ like that, that's what stands out. I mean, it's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, it is what it is, and, we got to figure out how to how to combat that, which is going to be a tough challenge for us, but, that's what stands out.
Mike, here in the third row.
Mike Wise, ESPN's The Undefeated. LeBron, Doc Rivers said that the Warriors have this penchant for making teams almost concentrate too much on the three. You start to get it in your head that you need to prevent them from three-pointers, and then...
Doc Rivers still living off that championship in 08, man. He talks a lot for a guy who haven't won shit in since 2008 and blew the 2010 series against Kobe. All right? That's another thing for all these Kobe guys out here, man. But you know what? I'll save that for later. But you know, that 2010 series, that was the biggest win in Kobe's career, because that was by far the best team that he was able to defeat as a leader in the finals. All right, that first Laker three-peat team, they had the worst opposition of any multiple champion in NBA history. Right, between the Pacers, the Sixers, and the Nets, they had the worst opposition of any multiple championship winning team. And they were a great team, don't get it twisted, but Kobe was not the leader on that first three-peat team. That's why Shaq won the MVPs for that team. All right, but that Boston Celtics team that they defeated in 2010, that the Lakers defeated in 2010, that was the most important victory in Kobe's career, and he'll tell you that, because deep down he knew that Orlando Magic series win, that wasn't shit. He knew that.
And then the inside opens up. Were you guys victims of that tonight? Did you feel that?
No, we was victims of ourselves for one. Like I said, we had 20 turnovers, and there's no way you're going to win a ball game having 20 turnovers against this team and on the road. But, you know, at the end of the day, we gave up a lot in transition. They had 27 points on fast breaks.
And follow-up, Kyrie and you got into a lot of isolation situations.
Exactly. Finally, somebody asking a good question. Finally, somebody who knows something about basketball. All right? Golden State wanted them in those ISO situations because they know. Make them think that the lane is open. You bring a help guy at the end. Make them kick out for those wild cross-court passes. Steal the ball, get the turnover, fast break.
Do you feel like the ball needs to move a little more?
This guy knows his basketball. The ball is not just that the ball needs to move. Their team needs to move without the ball.
I mean, that's part of our game. That's part of our game. It's what got us here. You know, so.
In other words, you guys are going to have the same problem all series than LeBron. But that's why I said with the Kyrie interview, you guys didn't make mistakes. They capitalized off of your style of play. LeBron is admitting it right here. He knows that's how they play. They're not a team that moves without the ball. They're a team dribble, penetrate, either get the basket. If you get double team, kick out for three. That's how they play.
You know, so, like I said, we definitely want to be more in the 20s in assists, but that's what got us here. And, we got to be able to make shots. We got to be able to move the ball. We know that, but, playing ISO ball has helped us get to this point. It has gave us success in the last 3 years. So, we don't want to have a high, steady diet of it because the defense, has become stagnant and, our players become stagnant. But, that's part of our package.
Standing in the back under the camera.
LeBron, Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. When your offense isn't flowing the way that you're used to and you're turning the ball over the way that you were tonight, what can be done, if anything, to not allow that to carry over to the defensive end?
Well, I think,
they haven't played defense all year, including LeBron. You see how KD roasted him? Shit. That man, LeBron couldn't guard his lunch.
A couple instances. First of all, we got to stop the ball in transition. There was a few times where we fanned out to the three-point line and let guys just go right down the middle for a dunk.
Yeah, including you. When KD dunked on you. All right, you did that. All right, but that's what happens when you got 4 All-Stars leading a fast break against you. That's what I'm saying. There's not much that they could do. They could talk all the shit they want to talk in the press conference. Right now, it's only one game. After game 2, it's going to be, we're heading back home to Cleveland. After game 3, it's going to be, let's just take it one game at a time. We just want to win game 4. You watch. Unless somebody gets hurt, man, I just don't see it. Because plus Golden State's angry.
Dunk, and I believe KD had 2 or 3 of those. So, when you turn the ball over, you got to know that, that's their best. That's when they become very dangerous, because those guys, they sprint down the lane, they sprint to the three-point line, they put a lot of pressure on your defense. So, but the ball is the number one thing. We got to stop the ball first and then fan out to the three-point line if those guys, go there.
Third row in the center.
Tess Stevens, ABC7, San Francisco. Were you surprised how many times the Warriors drove in and got to the rim tonight?
Guys been driving on them all year. Why would they be surprised? Cleveland's one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. They were like 27th, 28th? They were terrible. Why is everybody acting shocked that Cleveland didn't play good defense? They got Boston beat them in Cleveland without Isaiah Thomas. Come on. And this fool, Tyronn Lue, talking about Boston's, the stuff that they run is harder to defend than Golden State. Yeah, okay.
No, I wasn't surprised at anything. They are a high-powered offensive team. They can shoot the ball from the perimeter. They can get into the paint. They do everything exceptionally well, if not great. So, never surprised by anything that they can do.
Back right on 3.
LeBron, Davide Chinellato, Gazzetta Italy.
Oh, that's that same dude with that bullshit-ass name. That's not a real name. LeBron, from Italy. Stop making shit up. That's not your real name. Your name is Tyrone Jones.
As a leader, what is your message to your teammates after a bad loss like this?
Let's get focused on game 2. We made a lot of mistakes. It's nothing really that need to be said. We know we were capable of playing a lot better. We didn't play as well as we know we're capable of. So we look forward to the next one.
Jason standing on the right.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. Tristan seemed to have a tough night. A bunch of bench guys had a tough night. Outside of you, Kyrie and Kevin, what do you need from the complementary players in this series? What do you need out of them?
Just to be themselves and do what they've done throughout the course of the season, throughout the course of the last couple of years.
That's another one. Tristan Thompson, who was feeling himself last year, guarding Curry one-on-one, trying to act like he Dennis Rodman. You see, they put Curry had him one-on-one early in this game, put his ass in the blender.
Couple of years. Play with energy, play with effort, play with their mind and their bodies, and understand what we're trying to accomplish. So, like I said, it's going to be, this is the finals, and we don't care about making mistakes. Just play as hard as you can, and follow the game plan. Have your mind in it, and if your mind is fresh and your mind is into it, then a lot of things take care of itself.
I agree, but you guys also have to be one as a team. And you guys have to move without the basketball. The shit that worked against Indiana, Toronto, and Boston is not going to work against these guys, man. That's why people talk down all that shit about appearing in 7 straight finals, right? And I respect what LeBron has accomplished because he did have to beat some good teams early on in that run, right? Even though those guys was old in Boston and, they were a little, the guys in Chicago, they really were not up to par. But it's still a great accomplishment to go to 8 straight finals. But there's a totally different animal. All right, when you're talking about the Golden State Warriors, this team right here, unbelievable. They won 67 games, and they're probably a 77 win level team with the type of talent that they have on the team.
Any other questions? Over here in the third row.
Chuck Nevius, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. First quarter, you had 8 free throws. You had 4 the rest of the game. Do you feel like you could have been doing more driving to the hole? It's one of your strengths, obviously.
They're gonna have to get more free throws because they have to slow the game down, right? They're used to in the East being able to run teams off the court. You try to run with Golden State, your ass is gonna get blown out.
Well, the game is, it's played how it's played. I don't know.
That's his way of saying the referees is on some bullshit. That's what that translates to.
I don't know. First half I had 6 turnovers. Second I had 2. So could I have turned the ball over more in the second half? The game is just played that way.
Thank you, LeBron. Draymond Green will be in
LeBron James and the Cavaliers will.
What the hell is LeBron wearing? Oh man, looking like a gay ass Navy SEAL. How much of that was dictated by the lack of defense?
How much does that help you guys just transcend your offense when that's available?
Well, one thing about K is he can get to the basket anytime he wants, and he's 7 feet, so there's usually never a bad shot that he takes because he sees right over people. And, with their defense, I think, if you saw a couple times in the first half we're in transition and they're just jumping out at the three and you get an easy dunk. You could tell that their game plan was to take the three away. And, when you do that, when they do that, you got to drive the basketball. I think we did a great job of that. And, if they're going to play that same type of defense, you have to...
Or lack thereof, that same type of lack thereof defense.
You have to take what the defense give you. You can't just sit out there and say, oh, man, I'm going to get a three up because, we want to shoot threes. You just got to take what the defense give you. And if that's a, lane to the rim, then you got to take that lane and, try to finish. And usually that'll loosen their defense.
That's how Klay Thompson is going to step his game up in the offseason if he really wants to. He's going to have to improve his game off the dribble. Left hand, right hand, in between the legs. He has to improve that aspect of his game if he wants to take his game to the next level, whether he stays with Golden State or not.
Loosen their defense up some, and then, that's when the threes will start coming. But, for the most part, we continue to drive, and I think also we missed a bunch of easy ones that, we usually make, that we will make. So, we just got to continue to do whatever the defense say do. You take that.
Same row in the aisle.
Anthony Sederberry, News Group Draymond, 20-4 turnover advantage. I mean, just how massive is that?
Yeah, I got it. Say that one more time.
Just the 24 turnover advantage.
I think that was huge. We scored 21 points off their turnovers. They scored 6 off ours. When you turn the ball over against this team, it's almost impossible to guard. Usually it's LeBron coming downhill or Kyrie coming downhill with a bunch of shooters around him. And so we know coming into this game that we got to, really value the basketball. And if we can get a shot at the rim, it's always to our advantage with all the great scorers that we have. And obviously I don't think we'll have 4 turnovers every game, but if we can keep those turnovers down, it gives us a much better chance at, having a game like this, even where in the first half, in the beginning, where we were missing easy shots. We were missing shots that we would normally make. That not only having 1 turnover, in that first half is key. And so if we can continue to, stick with this blueprint, take care of the ball, defend, we put ourselves in a good position.
No, y'all put yourself in a position to sweep. All right, if y'all keep getting under 5 turnovers a game and getting easy transition points and fast break points, and y'all gonna sweep. All right, unless one of you guys get hurt, unless KD or Steph gets hurt, y'all gonna sweep if things keep going how they're going.
Rich in the back row.
Chris Haynes, ESPN.
That looked like Draymond's older brother right there. For those of you who don't know, by the way, how they describe Christ in Revelation, the 1st chapter in the 14th verse, Christ's skin complexion was similar to this brother right here, or Draymond Green's skin color. All right? That's how he looked in real life.
Nice jacket, Draymond.
Thanks, bro.
Stop lying. That does not look like a nice jacket. All right? Draymond looked like he's going to be leading the marching band out at the college football game.
Thanks, bro. You too.
With Klay, obviously you guys haven't lost in the postseason, and he hasn't been himself. Does it get to a point where you start trying to look for him? Like a couple of times, I believe in the third quarter, you looked like you were aiming for him, trying to get him going.
Not trying to get him going. He's one of our best scorers, and just because he's not hitting shots, don't mean we're going to stop going to him. He loosens up the defense. They're still chasing him, all over the floor. They're not just going to leave him open. So, it's never a point like, let's feed Klay, let's get him going.
Yo, Klay does so many things out on the court. It doesn't even matter how many shots he hits. I mean, that guy, he harasses Kyrie. Like, by the 4th quarter, Kyrie doesn't have that much. He doesn't have as much left in the tank. He just doesn't. And that's all because of the defense that Klay plays. Klay does so much that people don't give him credit for.
That's one of our guys. We're going to get him the basketball. But the most important thing is the way he's defending. We have enough guys who can score on this team that if one guy can't get it going, we can go other places. And then our ball movement and our flow allows everyone else to get baskets as well. We're not just going to say, oh, man, we really need to get Klay going. One thing about him is he's going to keep shooting. They took 16 shots tonight. That's a lot of shots, and we don't.
Especially if you ain't hitting shit.
And we don't expect him to stop shooting. We want him to keep shooting. We know he will. But his defense the entire playoffs has been spectacular. And that's huge. I think everyone always, you're just looking and waiting for that, that game where he just goes off. But if that game never comes and he continues to play the defense that he's been playing, we should be just fine.
All right, now we're going to hear from Klay Thompson. That man always chilling. Don't matter how well he does in the game or not. He always look like he just smoked a blunt.
I know you're used to switching and you're used to winding up with bigger guys on you, but what were you trying to do with Love when they went to that like 4 times in the first quarter and didn't get very much?
I mean, David, I can't give you all the secrets.
Yeah, why do these guys always ask game plan questions for? Plus, Klay is a big dude himself. Kevin Love's about 6'9.5", 6'10". Klay's about 6'7", and can leap better than Kevin. So, I mean, he can contest the shots pretty well, particularly if Kevin's not able to back him down low enough to shoot the jump hook.
Yeah. I know they'll read the media and see but just playing like anybody else. I mean, he's really strong, so you just got to get up under him and make him score over the top of you because he gets on the block. It's almost an automatic bucket for him.
Exactly.
Kyrie, Kevin Love, LeBron. What are you trying to do out there defensively against these teams?
Man, limit their three-point opportunities. They've been killing people the last 3 years with the three ball, and us and them probably been the best in the league at it. And that's why we're here. So they got great one-on-one players, but you got to make them beat you one-on-one. Over the course of the game, it's hard to do, and I think that wears guys out.
That's exactly what I've been saying. That's exactly what happened. Right? You want to get Kyrie and LeBron dribble, right? Tyronn Lue has become so dependent on both those guys. They're both going to be playing in the upper 40 minutes every game. He figures we're getting off 2 days in between each game. Both those guys are going to be playing 45, 46 minutes. By the fourth quarter, they're going to be worn down.
Guys out. Putting extra emphasis on the defense this just start missing shots, no. You can't worry about that. I play hard on both sides of the ball. I play as hard as I can. And even when I'm missing shots, it's one thing I control is my defense. So I try to be effective, even if it looks like I'm effective out there.
It looked like you guys were really locked in, especially on their weak side stuff, the hammer stuff, that they, like you said, at least in corner threes. How much time did y'all spend on that?
A lot. I had 9 days off, so when you got that much time, you should be focused. You should be sharp.
Agreed. And like I said, like David Aldridge said, the corner threes. All right? They want LeBron and Kyrie to go one-on-one at the top of the key or on the elbow, dribble, drive hard to the basket, and throw those wild cross-court passes trying to get an open three-point shooter. They're waiting on that. They're going to get the steals and do the run-outs. They want those transition baskets.
Sharp as far as game planning. And this team runs great stuff. They're gonna make shots. They're one of the best offensive teams in the league, so you can't get deflated when we do. And I think we did a great job tonight creating turnovers. That really helped fuel our break.
You kind of exchanged blows in that first half, and then that 7-8 to start the third really kind of turned the tide for you guys' favor.
It did. Hope we can do that again. A team that can go on runs at any time. So just got to stay focused. Can't be happy with one win. This feels a lot like last year. We went up 2-0. Rest history. So we got to enjoy this tonight, but quick.
Right. Klay, don't even let your mind go back to last year, man. That's not good. Don't let your mind even reflect back to last year other than trying to get revenge, because that's a way to fall prey to the same thing.
Tonight, but quickly forget about it and win Sunday and just play as hard as you can. I think so. I mean, last year, as bad as it hurt, it was a learning experience, and we fueled us to get here. So there's no shortcuts to win a championship. I think everybody knows that. But we'll find out. I mean, we still got a long way to go to win this series.
He talking about basketball. This nigga thinking about some weed right now. He like, damn. I wonder if I'm running low on my supply right now at home. He thinking about his weed and his pit bull. His bulldog.
You guys I know you score a lot of transition points, but have you ever seen a team just concede fast break dunks like that, like they did tonight?
Well, I mean, they probably didn't want to give us open threes. That's always deflating. But I think we were playing great in the transition game. We were just getting the ball and pushing the pace.
All right, now we're going to hear from Steph and KD on the ass whooping that they handed out to Cleveland.
Yeah. Kevin, in the first half, you had 23 points, but you were over 3 points. You were going to the rim and dunking a lot. Was that part of the game plan, or was that organic that just developed because of the way things were going?
That was organic.
He's trying not to laugh so hard and really tell the guy how stupid his question was. Like, basically in basketball, you take what the defense gives you. Like, you think if they give him an open lane to drive and dunk that he's going to pull up for three? Like, what kind of stupid-ass question is that?
I don't know when I'm a dunk or when I'm going to get wide open three, or I'll just go out there and play. And, try not to predetermine anything. Just go out there and hoop. And tonight we could be a lot better than we were tonight. But in the finals, you get the W, we'll take it.
Tim, next row up.
Tim Kawakami, Mercury News. Kevin, you had LeBron as the assignment. He guarded you. What were you thinking going into this? What were you emphasizing, and how did you think that matchup turned out?
Well, it's not about me.
I'd tell you how that matchup turned out. You roasted his ass. All right, that's how it turned out. LeBron, had a LeBron game. He's going to play bully ball. All right, he's going to dominate the boards, especially when he saw that Tristan Thompson kind of got nullified. All right, he did his thing, him and K-Love on the boards, but LeBron got outplayed. Simple as that. That's why LeBron said in his press conference, KD is the difference.
He's going to do what he does. He's LeBron James. He can, you guys know what he could do. So I just try to play as hard as I can and not make it about a matchup. It's about us. It's about Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we only going to do it together. And, that's just our whole mindset. And so I just try to do my part, stay locked in on both ends.
And you've done a great job of that, all right? Nobody mentions him as Defensive Player of the Year, but he deserves some recognition for how great he's played on defense for the entire season, right? I wouldn't say that he's Defensive Player of the Year necessarily, but he's been up there with anybody else, all right? And I wouldn't say that he deserves it over Kawhi or Draymond or something like that, but he's been extraordinary on both ends of the floor.
And have some fun out there, but they're tough to stop, but I think we did it as a group tonight.
Same row towards the center.
Yeah, question for Steph. Ryan Leong with the Associated Press Radio. Steph, you mentioned how you don't want to relive anything that happened last year. Where does this win put you guys as far as just taking the lead in this series to start off?
Steph got to look on it like it don't mean shit. I want to blow these guys out every game.
It's a focus on what's in front of you. We had an opportunity to win our, the first game of the series, get off to a good start. We were able to do that. Like Kay said, we feel like we can play much better, especially offensively early in the game. Just finishing better around the rim. Those open opportunities that we had because we were moving the ball well and trying to force him into tough decisions on the defensive end.
Physically, he couldn't do that in last year's finals. The way he busted down Tristan Thompson there, he couldn't do it, and that's just the difference. People say that, well, those are excuses. What about what Steph did against Portland in overtime in last year's playoffs? Look, when you're a great player, even when you're hurt, you're gonna hit moments of transcendence where you're able to, play in the zone. And he hit a zone in that game last year against Portland in Game 5. Right, you're not going to be in a zone in every game, especially when you have a debilitating knee issue like he had. Those are just facts. Anybody could see the difference in the spring in his step and his quickness in Game 1 last night as opposed to the finals last season.
But the best thing about tonight, obviously, was just our defensive presence and effort for 48 minutes. They're going to make tough shots. They're a talented team.
Yo, he totally freaked LeBron on that play. He took LeBron completely out of the play, out of the damn screen almost.
Team, they have two of the best scorers in the league, so you gotta just keep pressing, sticking to the game plan. But like I said, focus with what's in front of you. Win one game. Now we look to Sunday to try to do it again. We've been here before, and know there's a lot of work left to do. So,
right, because last year, you counted your chickens before they were hatched. You went to Cleveland in Game 3, looked like you were under mind control, like a zombie, didn't even play, hardly played well in Game 3 at all. You looked like you wasn't even there mentally, and that opened the door for Cleveland. All right, that was your fault that they lost last year's finals. Yours and Draymond, of course, but really yours because you were supposed to lead them.
Good start.
Rachel, back left.
Rachel Nichols, ESPN. Kevin, you just mentioned having fun out there. Indulge those of us who are not 7 foot tall and tell us what it feels like when Steph Curry is drawing defenders and the lane's cleared out for you. You can just go for the basket in an NBA Finals game and dunk the way you were doing tonight.
This bro looked like she's always asking basketball questions, but she always got sexual thoughts about black men going on in her mind.
Like I said, I'm only as good as my teammates. Well, I didn't say that here. I said that to Doris Burke after the game. But I'm only as good as my teammates, and Steph and Clay and Draymond and Zaza and the rest of the guys. We just compliment each other, try to compliment each other and make it the game easier for each other.
That's the point, to make the game easy. You know, for all the people who got mad at him when he left OKC and what about Westbrook? Westbrook don't make the game easier. All right? Westbrook is about himself. Period. All right, and with him, it's not even conscious. All right, that's just who he is in his DNA. Certain guys, that's just who they are in their DNA. They're all about, I have to conquer. All right, that's not necessarily a bad thing based on the teammates that they have, but the psychology of your leader is going to determine what type of team you can build around him. So when you have a guy like Westbrook, similar to a guy like Kobe or Iverson, you have to have guys like him who are just, you have to have guys that are just there on the team to, pay obeisance to the king of the team. Right? KD didn't want that. KD didn't want to just be an acolyte under Westbrook. Right? He actually wanted to be a part of something where, the game was made easier. Right? When you have wisdom and understanding for the game, you make things so easier, so much easier. And that's what advancement is about. You make things easier. All right? At one time, people use a horse and buggy. Now they use a car. Right? Why? Because you want to make things easier. That's what civilization is about. That's why KD went to Golden State. He wanted to learn how to pass the ball, move the ball, cut. Right? That's the difference between a close game and a blowout.
For each other. In transition, I only could get in transition because we got stops and rebounded. And they're a great offensive rebounding team, and we got to take them off the glass if we want to, win. And I think we did a solid job of that. They did have 15 offensive rebounds, so we got to correct that. But only way to get out in transition and get those baskets and get the crowd into it is if we get stopped. So I just try to focus on defense.
How easy do your teammates make it for you?
It's not easy at all,
Nigga, stop lying. Yes, it is. When you got Clay and Steph on the wing and you don't have to worry about help from odd angles because people are not going to help off of those guys, you can just roast your man one-on-one. Nobody can guard you one-on-one, not even LeBron. So damn well it's a big difference as opposed to playing with a Westbrook who, doesn't know how to pass on time. He clogs the lane because he can't shoot from the outside. So, he always has to position himself or 20 feet away from the basket as opposed to 24 feet like a Steph can. All right, it makes all the difference in the world. It's the difference between you being a 49 or a 50% shooter from the field and being a 55% shooter from the field.
We got to go out there and execute. It's hard to try to do it every possession. You got to stay locked in and focus every possession if you want to do it. So, it's not easy at all.
Robert on the left side.
Robert Littal, Black Sports Online. Steph, I noticed that you ditched the sleeve for this game. I thought it looked pretty good fashion-wise.
Pause.
On you, but what was kind of the decision behind that? Is your elbow feeling better?
Low key, I've always wanted to be like Allen Iverson. That was the only way I could really come close. But it just wasn't feeling right. Just kind of a split decision, just whatever. Accessories, it don't really matter. Just keep playing.
I had a quick question for you, Kevin. Toward the end of the game, you shot a three, kind of putting the dagger into him, and you looked toward the crowd toward Rihanna. Was that on purpose?
Look at Steph. Steph like, nigga, let me find out you hitting that. I was just hitting it last week. How was yours?
Purpose, or do you remember that? Or I don't even remember that. Well, just to let you know, social media is buzzing about it.
Really?
Yes.
Don't get in that trap.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in that. I'm cool. Have fun with that.
Ain't nobody thinking about no damn Rihanna. Rihanna done seen more dicks than a damn urologist. Get out of here, man.
Michael on the right side on the aisle.
Steph, Michael Grange from Sportsnet over here to your right. You're up 1-0. You obviously were up 2-0 this time last year. I presume it'll be fairly easy to take it kind of one game at a time based on your experience a year ago.
No, for sure. For sure. That's. We talked about going into the series. A lot of us have been through both sides of, a championship run and a final.
I've mentioned this before, but when you look at a guy like a Steph Curry, in history, so-called blacks that look like that from Europe, they were known as red, right? Like in Scotland, I mentioned this before. You had the black Douglases and the red Douglases, all right? The so-called black Douglases, they look similar to a Kevin Durant or Draymond Green. The so-called red Douglases, they look similar to a Steph Curry. All right? That's part of the issue with all this confusion about who Esau is. People don't understand that, I'll cover that a little later. But yeah, Steph and, the people who look like Steph, they were known in Europe as like being the red Douglases, or they might be described as tawny. All right.
In the finals.
Tawny, tawny. All right. They were not known as. That's where you get the term mulatto from, or mulatto. That's not just talking about somebody who has a so-called black parent and a so-called white parent. That's just somebody who looks like how he looks. What we call in the so-called black community high yellow, or or so-called light skin. Right. There's a lot of different layers to that whole light skin thing and where they come from. But like I've said in the past, the Caucasian likes to take credit for so-called light-skinned Negroes, and that's just not the case.
Finals kind of back and forth,
or at least that's not exclusively the case.
You're not going to see crazy celebrations. You're not going to see us getting ahead of ourselves. We obviously, like Kate said, we're going to enjoy what we do on the floor and going to be passionate about it and have each other's backs when we're out there. But every 48 minutes is a separate event.
Yeah, it better be after that bullshit from last season, man. That was the worst collapse in NBA history.
Event, a separate mentality, and the goal obviously is to lock in on the moment. So it should be very easy for us to do that, all things considered.
Eric, back left.
Kevin, Eric Pincus, Basketball Insider's Bleacher Report. It's been some time since you've been back to this stage. Did you allow yourself to kind of take in the moment, the gravity? You're finally back here after all this time.
What other option did I have? This is what every player wants to be, is the highest level of basketball. That's what you dream about as a kid, is to play at the highest level. So, I wouldn't do my teammates any good if I wasn't, just enjoying a moment no matter what. So I just try to stay locked in on that. At the same time, have some fun. But know that, it's hard to do what we want to do. And it's hard to, stay locked in for 48 minutes. So I'm just trying to do my best to be there for my teammates and, to play up to my standards as an individual as well. So just trying to, probably going to say this a lot over the next couple of days. We're just trying to stay locked in, man. That's all it's about.
Tim on this side.
Steph, couple questions. Only 4, right here in the middle, 4 turnovers in this game. Knowing what happened at the end of the finals last year, is that easy to do?
How many times y'all gonna bring up old shit?
Just not to turn the ball over, or does it really take some discipline and focus to drop that total?
It takes discipline and focus. That's a question for all the other guys but me and Draymond. Because we were the culprits there.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's what's called accountability. All right? That's how you know that somebody is a good leader. He takes accountability. All right? That's what a man does. Steph said, me and Draymond, they take accountability. They know that they're the reason why they lost last year. And they should know that because it's the truth. Right? The truth will set you free.
Oh, yeah. Everybody else was flawless. And the situations where we come down with this transition, half court, whatever, it's just a simple play. And when we did turn it over tonight is when you just try to do too much. You rush or whatever. So it's obviously our best, effort in that category throughout the playoffs. Just keeping it simple, man. Just making the pass that's in front of you. We have playmakers all over the floor. Just let the kind of gravity take hold on the floor. See who's going to draw attention to on the ball and find the open guy and knock down open shots. So that's the formula for us, and it's going to get harder and harder as we go when the stakes are, when they rise as the series goes on, but you have to stay focused on that.
And obviously, like Kevin said, it's a team game, but when it's going to be Kevin and LeBron pretty much going head-to-head, and they do play each other the whole game, offensively, defensively, what are you thinking when you're watching that matchup?
You ain't thinking shit. You thinking I'm glad we got him instead of Harrison Barnes. That's what he thinking. Because basically it's going to come down to LeBron against KD and Steph against Kyrie. And if they can even out those matchups, as far as points, Golden State's going to win because Steph and KD are going to get their points on less shots than LeBron and Kyrie because Steph and KD are making quicker decisions because the offense that they run is more open and they're getting better shots.
I know KD's ready for that challenge when he's on the ball guarding LeBron, and when he has the ball on the other end, he's looking to do what he does, his whole career, all this year in the playoffs, just being himself. So I said to the team going into the game, we just got to be ourselves. Don't worry about any other storyline, anything that doesn't matter to the game. And we were really, really good in that department tonight. Of just being ourselves, playing the Warriors basketball, knowing that there's a lot of talent on the floor, and that's our best effort to win this championship. Just be ourselves.
Greg, last question in the center.
Greg Logan of Newsday for Kevin. Tyronn Lue came in here and said he felt their defensive game plan was kind of backwards at the start of the game, that they were concerned about getting out to the shooters and left you with the ball in your hands, isolated. Did you sense that, and is that what triggered all those decisions to drive to the basket?
Yeah.
I think he already answered the damn question. If the lane is open, he drives. If the jump shot's open, he takes a jump shot. This guy looking like damn Roger Ebert.
Yeah, I mean, we move the ball and we just try to move our bodies, and if I see a lane, just try to attack. Coach and my teammates always want me to attack and try to open it up for everybody else and try to score as well. So I felt like in transition they were running out to the three-point line. I mean, we got the best three-point shooters in the world on our team. So obviously teams want to take away our three-pointer, but just try to be aggressive to the rim and loosen them up a bit. And Steph was able to hit a couple in transition. But like I said, it all starts from getting stops. We get stops. We worry about defense first, and offensively, we can move the ball around, drive and kick, and try to find shots as well. So I'm more focused on defense.
Thanks, guys. LeBron should be up next.
Kevin Durant and Steph Curry there scored 66 of the Warriors' 113 points tonight as they take Game 1 here at Oracle Arena in Oakland. We're joined now by Joe.
No, we're not joined now by no damn body. That was the Game 1 coverage. I want to see what Cleveland tries to do in Game 2. I don't know how much more they can do other than try to slow the game down and dirty it up. If they can do that, they may have a chance to stay in the series, keep the game close, and hope that Golden State gets nervous in the fourth quarter. Golden State is kind of a front-runner team. Right? If you can have the game close in the fourth quarter, then Kyrie will probably be the best fourth quarter clutch performer of anybody on the court. Right? Especially if the game is within 2 or 3 points. And then they can go from there. But anyway, we'll see what happens Game 2. Peace.